what could a candidate say in an interview about compensation that would leave a favorable impression in your mind about them or a not so favorable impression?
So I really don't know if I have an answer to that, but most of the time, and the kind of people we get to interview or talk are, number one, based on references, mostly. Where, the first line of career-oriented looking for job is already cut out. So your interview is mostly based on counseling rather than figuring out what compensation will go. I have also not faced most of the people asking about compensation upfront, but rather we ask that your last withdrawal was this much, and that's the reason why we were not calling you, because it is beyond ours. And if that is your concentration, that this is the kind of level that you are looking at, we are not the right place. And then the conversation starts, no, that's not my first priority. And we usually lead to conversation where what's your need rather than what's your desire, or what's your package and what's your competitive package in the market. So that is settled slightly separately as one of the pillars of working together, but certainly not the primary focus on that one. The second is that sometimes, for example, very recently, we got somebody working in a known organization sending a mail that we want to work with you, and I was interested. I immediately called her. I said, what's your current takeaway? She said 1.6. I said, let's not meet then. No, I want to meet. That's not the purpose. I have written it on the biodata, but that's not what it is. And then we start conversation. And then also it leads to listen, you will never be able to mentally, settle yourself if you're working on lesser compensation. So are you really out of it and you are just in early 30s and things like that? So that's the kind of conversation happens in most of the things. But bottom line is that compensation is not the first criteria on which we build relationship. But it is need-based and not desire-based.
What are the kind of reasons we have heard, and collectively, we do so many interviews, we have heard being shared in interviews to convince people to come in at lower compensations to the social sector?
Yeah, I mean, one is compensation is important in life because we deal in cash also. There is no barter system in life, unlike earlier. So compensation is important, but I think there is a very strong thin line between reasonable and what you call competitive. I would say the word competitive or comparative itself is a killer, because there is no comparison. Corporate world works on making products where means is very important, product is very important. Social sector works for solving social problem of human beings. That's the end game. And if you are coming in that role to play your role in that end game, you might as well know it very well to be part of that supply chain, that where means is not the end, but the end, you are means to the end. And there is, this philosophy is very important to go into each and every one which is part of the supply chain. Whether it's employee on a PF role or what kind of, all those things. This is very important. I think this entire hiring system, the entire thing, this philosophy has to go into. And I think that is a bigger challenge in social sector, that every time, because all the more reason because most of the people who run social sector comes from corporate world, which is an irony, and there is a negative impact on that also, because they have the same Excel sheet to apply here. And that is the biggest issue. If we instill that into the entire employment system or the compensation system, I think we will have to struggle less, and since you word the use philosophy. I am being philosophical.
Yes.
You know, and I'm not being absolutely. It is philosophical. It is certainly philosophical that we have a different end game. We live on somebody else's money for somebody else. Nobody gives us money to spend on yourself.
So I'm going to ask this question, and this is for anyone in the audience or anyone here on stage. Is our sector more suitable for double income families? If so, what are the ramifications for talent in our sector? Is our sector more suitable for double income families, not single income families? If so, what are the ramifications for talent in this sector? Anyone wants to take a shot? Any of the panelists?
I may agree that might be true. I don't have a survey and all that. But what I would like to say is that there are enough talent in the market and there are enough people available for the work that you want, because in any case you have to train for two people to work in the social sector. There is nobody in the world who train you how to work with poor people, you know, properly, with with empathy and compassion. In any case, you have to go through. So I think there are enough number to not even go into the comparative statistics or not. But yes, I agree that once you start working in the organization, and this is a practical challenge, that you grow in the organization, you suddenly get married, and then you think that I need this also, that also, and then it becomes an issue, and you may end up doing your own survey in the own organization. You find that, oh, सारे middle level वाले तो double income वाले हैं. That might be true. I haven't done that survey. We might find that one, but there will always be availability of that one. And the second is, I mean, this is particularly in our organization. We feel that hiring between 20 years and 35 years of age is workable. After that, it doesn't. Because people come with their own mindset, with their own baggages, and it doesn't really work. I mean, then you start then otherwise a counseling center or a separate center for dealing how young people and the older people work together and things like that. But it works very well between 22 years of age and 35 years of age.